Hey everyone, I just wanted to share some results I've had in regards to a random high ping issue I was having in Path of Exile for Ultimatum League, and both a free fix that doesn't involve any other applications, a fix that you can use within the game, and then a more permanent fix that works every time. So the free fix works about 50% of the time. It's really hit and miss, and basically the free fix is just knowing what the problem is. If you know what the problem is, you can kind of solve it on the game side. But if you don't know what the problem is, then this might also help you out if you've just been getting high ping randomly. If you'll play one day and have low ping and then the next day it's high ping, it could actually be this issue causing it, but you just didn't realize what's the real cause. So that's why you wouldn't know how to fix it. So anyway, I'm playing from Bohol, Philippines on PLDT with a 75 Mbps fiber connection. My ping to the local servers is only 6 ms, but obviously connecting overseas to Singapore, which is my only playable gateway to Path of Exile, it's going to be 60 ms. And that's completely playable and fine. The problem is there is routing issues, and this could happen to anyone as far as I'm aware. So if you've been having high ping, it could be a routing issue, and this is where my fix will help you. But again, it is on a per user basis. So one user in a slightly different, suburb or barangay or town could have good results, and then one town away with a different ISP, you could have poor results. So I can't guarantee this will work for everyone. I hope you don't get upset if it doesn't. But I will recommend other VPNs that you could attempt, because if Exitlag doesn't work, you could also try, Mudfish or WTF Fast. It's really up to you. Personally, I would try them all and find the one that works for you, or just try this method if you can't afford to sign up with a VPN at the moment. So the problem appears to be to do with routing, and this is what's actually happening, at least in my case. So at first I would play, like, I'd be mapping, right? And you don't always map back to back, but sometimes you do, and I just noticed I would randomly start getting 200 ms, and I would just stay in the map thinking it's my ISP, when really it might be my ISP in a sense of the routing that it's taking, but it could also be the game, and I think it's also the game. It's interconnected. So basically, every time you go to your hideout or you go into a map, it's an instance, and the instance is via your realm, like it's created on your gateway. So for example, I'm on Singapore realm. If other players connect to my hideout or my map, join my party and join my map, they're going to get a ping based on where I'm located. So if they're playing from a further away region, they're going to get higher ping. And if you join a player that's playing on US West and you get 200 ping in US West, you're probably going to be in 200 ping. Like, you're not going to be on 60 ms from your Singapore realm. You'll actually end up being on their realm. Now, after explaining that, within Singapore, there apparently are multiple routes, and one of the routes is bad. It could be multiple bad routes, or it could be a bad server within Singapore, and the rest are fine, but one of them is congested and just doesn't work properly. I don't know. But long story short, this is what's actually happening. Your instance, like that I've explained, like how it creates an instance on Singapore realm, is not locked to one route. It changes route not from like bad luck, like I'll show you. So I'm created a game, I'm on 200 ms, right? So this is what'll happen to a lot of people. They'll go, oh crap, my ping's bad today, and they'll just keep mapping. Like that's what I was doing. And what's actually happened is I've joined the instance, and my instance is in Singapore, but the route is flexible. So this is the best way I can explain it, based on like a bit of theory crafting. But the route is flexible. It can change. So you're not locked to the route that you get stuck with. If you're on 200 ms, you're not locked on 200 ms because the instance is on 200 ms. You're actually on a variable route that can change just simply by exiting the map and rejoining it. So this might be common knowledge to some of you, but I know not everyone will know about this, because I didn't until now, until I tested it, because I noticed that it was happening when I went to vendor items when I'd be full. I'd go back to my hideout. Sometimes my hideout would be 60 ms, and other times it would be 200 ms. So again, my hideout is also on a variable route. And the reason I know it wasn't lag spikes is because I would stay in my hideout and I actually tested. I'm like, is it going to go back up to 200? And it always stayed on whatever ping you happen to get routed through for that instance. So while I'm in my hideout now, it's not going to go back to 200 ms. It's only going to have a chance of going back to 200 ms if I go back into the map and back to my hideout. So, and that the same thing works for mapping. So my map, as you saw, was 200 ms. If I go back in, there's a chance I will get routed to a more optimal route and go down. So now I'm on 70 ms just from entering and exiting. And this is so ridiculous because I did not know this. I was playing for months. You know, since Ultimatum, I started Ultimatum, and I just completely forgot that Exitlag fixed routing issues, and I just thought it was a congestion issue because I was getting nice, like this is without Exitlag. I was getting these kind of pings, and I just thought, okay, so if it goes up, it's just the server, or it's just my ISP being bad for the day, and Exitlag probably won't help in that situation. I didn't realize it was a routing issue to do with, per instance, like variable routing to do with just creating a portal. So even though my instances remained exactly the same, like I've got the trial master here, it's not creating a new instance, it'll change my route just from exiting and going back in. My instance is exactly the same. So yeah, 64 in the hideout, maybe it'll go back up to 200. But this is frustrating as well, especially if you're playing on like, if you didn't know of this problem, or if you're playing on hardcore and you get 200 ms, you might just roll a new map thinking, or you might hop off for the day. You might literally hop off. If you're getting 200 ms and you're playing hardcore, I know there's not that many hardcore players in Philippines or Southeast Asia, but if you saw 200 ms, you'd literally hop off because you don't want to just randomly get a lag spike and die to it. But if the fix is as simple as going out of the map and going back in, well, this is going to help a bunch of people, I think. So that's the pre-fix that is 50-50. It just worked then, but as you saw, I was going up and down from just entering and exiting. So you're wasting portals as well. So if you're pushing high-end content, if you're doing a hard boss fight, this fix is going to be okay for some people that can afford, like they only die once, like they don't actually die that often, so one death isn't a big deal, and losing a portal is not a big deal. But if you're really pushing the limit of what your build can do and what your gear can do, then maybe losing those portals is going to be an issue. And that's where I recommend trying Exitlag or trying another gaming VPN. I'm just recommending Exitlag because it's been flawless for me, and I've tried the others. And at least for Philippines, in the island that I'm on, the others don't work as well. Like, they're hit and miss. But Exitlag is basically foolproof for this issue. So now that I've demonstrated that, and I'm doing this video in 1080p just so you guys can see the ping properly. Now that I've demonstrated how it can go up and down, like see how my hideout's back at 200? It is just completely random. You'll just get routed through a bad route, and my gateway remains Singapore, which shows on server selection, Singapore is 60 ms. So I know there's people making Reddit posts and commenting saying that they're getting random high ping. This is part of it. The routing is probably an issue for those people that get low ping and then high ping. So now we're going to enable Exitlag, and we're going to keep this map open, like, and I would bet money, because I've already extensively tested this, but Singapore, and as you can see, it was not activated. It says no connection through Exitlag. Now we're going to activate Exitlag. It's going to kick me out, and this can also be used to save a map. If your map was like, if you forgot to turn it on, or you don't even have an Exitlag subscription, maybe you're searching for VPNs because of this issue, you can salvage a map that's only got 2 portals left, and those 2 portals will be guaranteed low ping if Exitlag works for you. But when it works every time. So it's kicked me out. I'm logging back in, Singapore gateway. And after I log back in, your instances will still be open, as long as you don't do it too far apart. Like if you take 20 minutes, then obviously they'll be closed. But if you're just simply activating it and getting logged out of the server because you're connecting through the Exitlag gateway, will still retain your maps. And watch this, 54 ms. So I got a slight ping reduction, and both of these portals are going to be under 60 ms, maybe 57ish. So yeah, 54, and it's the exact same. See with the trial master here, so you could literally bank on it working for you. And that's what I wanted to share. It's a pretty much foolproof fix in my situation. It is hit and miss. But if you're having the same issue with the routing, you can actually test it first. Don't even bother with Exitlag. Try the portal trick. If the portal trick works, then more than likely Exitlag will work. And you just have to select the closest server that has a gateway to your region. So, for example, I'm in Philippines, the closest server is Singapore, and then in Exitlag, I have to make sure I select Singapore because there are other options. There's Taipei, but there's no Taipei gateway in my game list, and there's no Korea gateway. There is Japan. I could also use Japan, which it gives you an estimation, and give or take, like, 5-10 ms, because it also includes like cable, like just other latencies are involved. But as you can see, if I went through Japan, I'd be on slightly higher 63, and then I can also go to Sydney, which also is that's not going to give me a good ping. But there's a bunch. Like, I'm not just doing this for Philippines players. It could help for routing issues in any of these countries, especially if it's something like what I'm experiencing. So Singapore 5 is a good one. And just to demonstrate this without like wasting your time, now that I've established that it's turned on, I'm through Exitlag right now. Every time I go back to my hideout, and every time I enter the map, I'm going to do this straight for every single portal. I'm just going to jump in and out. It's not going to go back to 200 ms anymore. So I just wanted to do this live testing just to give you the first-hand experience without having to waste your time trying to sign up. Just to make sure that it actually does do something, because it's like a waste of time to, if someone just says, yeah, it'll work, try it, and use my referral link, and they don't even they don't even bother showing you it working, then that could be questionable. But as you can see, just look at the ping every time I go in and out. It'll be 50, 53. No more 200 ms for me. So yeah, I've got a referral link on my channel, and I'll put it down in the video description and comments below. I would appreciate if you are going to try Exitlag, I would really appreciate it if you use that referral link, because basically instead of paying all of the subscription is only like $5 a month or 300 pesos, but instead of paying 100% to Exitlag, they actually will give like a tiny portion. It's like $1 to the referral link person, the referrer. So that would really help me out and keep the channel afloat, because I don't actually make that much on YouTube. But if not, then still I'm happy to help you guys out, and hope, even if you're just using the free fix, I hope this helps you. And I just want to get this information out there. If you just share it to other people that about this issue, not specifically Exitlag, like you don't have to share the link to anyone. Just share the information that the routing can be fixed by just jumping into different, like, in and out of the map. Like, it's as simple as that, and it's kind of mind-boggling that could be a fix for high ping, is to just go in and out. Like, you wouldn't think so, eh? Anyway, I appreciate it, guys, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. If you dislike, then dislike, and just please let me know in the comments. Maybe I talk too much or I talk too fast. I would appreciate the feedback either way. And if you're interested in RX 6700 XT performance, let me know and tell me what settings, because I am running a newer graphics card, the RX 6700 XT. And yeah, I do requests. If you're curious about, for example, I'm on 1080p right now so that you guys could see the ping properly. And I'll just do a quick map just to show anyone that wants to stick around. And we'll just go with tier 10. And otherwise, if you got something out of the video, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Crusader influence. Yeah, do these. So this is the 6700 XT. I've got it on a slight undervolt because it improves the temps by about 10 degrees under load. And right now I have the FPS uncapped. I'm playing on a 100 Hz ultra-wide monitor, 3440 by 1440, but I'm doing this as a 1080p test because I know that a lot of Exiles aren't running ultra-wide. Maybe some of you are, but I haven't done a 1080p test yet, and this is just a bonus at the end of my Exitlag video. So if you're not interested, you don't have to keep watching and say the video's too long. Anyway, I'm just going to do this and show you the performance, and the settings are 1920 by 1080, Vulkan, uncapped foreground FPS, AA off, basically default. It's all default, sun shadow, because even though it's a really powerful card, when you do an ultimatum encounter, it'll still hit 90% because of all the entities on the screen. You literally, all the effects and stuff. And I'm running a high effects cast when damage taken build. purposely for showing people just what you can expect, worst case scenario for this GPU within Path of Exile. So if I just ran like a fast build that clears really quick, it's not going to show what all kinds of builds might drop FPS to. But running a intensive build with like Firestorm and all that stuff, it will really give you a good idea of the worst case scenario. So I've got dynamic resolution enabled. If I disable it, my FPS during a ultimatum encounter will drop to about 40. Still feels very smooth, and you don't get the image quality losses you do with dynamic resolution. But keeping this enabled will majority of the time keep me at a 60 FPS minimum. And when there's like stuff flying all over the screen, you don't really notice it that badly. But again, that's from playing ultra wide. I have not extensively tested in 1080p. So at 1080p with dynamic, you might notice it a lot more if it has to drop resolution. If it has to drop resolution to maintain the frame rate. And if you're curious about stuff like global lighting at this lower resolution, I could lightly turn global illumination on and max out the shadows and not have any issues staying up above 100 FPS. But just let me know on request, because right now I'm just going to quickly test at these settings. So, maybe anisotropic is something you'd turn up on 1080p, but yeah, the game looks good with or without it, in my opinion. Keep that turned up. And we're going to reset the FPS counter and just do this map as a bonus test. Oh, this is kind of obstructive though. Sorry, I will. It's just on 890. Chuck this over the corner. It's kind of hard to see, eh? It's in a good position for ultra wide, but not for 1080p. So wait, I alt tabbed out so the 1% were low. So now you can see the 1% killing mobs, and we're gonna look for an ultimatum encounter. So this is only a level 75 map. I'm like level 80, 88. So yeah, I am pretty safe here. There it is. And I'll just show you how it's done, how it performs. So I'm resetting the counter now, mid whirlwind, and you can see the effects that I got going with this build. We do need higher, like, it's a monster slain one. I wish it would survive, because that's the one that gets the most mobs. But you can see the 0.1s being fairly low is normal, but as long as it's not dropping to like 20 or 10, even if it does, you rarely notice it on 0.1. If the 1%, however, are very low, that's like frequent stutter. Just if you weren't aware of how it works. So the main to focus on would be the 1%. That would be my stutter gauge. And as you can see, the worst 1% of frames are staying above 78, at 78 or higher, maybe a little lower. And that's on a pretty intensive build. And you can see the GPU usage still gets fairly high even at 1080p with half the stuff turned down. So yeah, 96% usage with the Ryzen 3600 at a 4400 megahertz all-core overclock.